Hello, here I am in Janice's beading studio, and I'm going to be showing you how to use the magical crimper today. And with the magical crimper, I will be showing you how to make the earrings that I am wearing. It's a simple loop earring, and I'm going to show you how to make it using the magical crimper, as well as some soft flex and crimps, paper beads, some spacer beads, as well as jump rings and earring findings. So to begin, when you're using a magical crimper, it says specifically on the package you're only allowed to use a certain type of flex wire with a certain type of crimp. So with this particular magical crimper, you can only use flex wire that is a 0.18 to a 0.19 in diameter. So today I'm using the 0.19 sterling silver soft flex, and then you can only use it with a 2x2 crimp. So I have a package of the 2x2 crimps right here. So to begin, what you're going to want to do is cut the pieces of the soft flex for your earring. For the earrings that I'm wearing, you're going to need about 5 inches. If you want to make your earrings a lot larger or a lot smaller, you can measure it out to what would be appropriate for that. So I'm going to cut about 5 inches. Okay, so now that I have my soft flex here, I'm going to take out one of my crimps. Make sure you're using the 2x2 because the tool will not work with the other types. So once you have your crimp, you're going to want to slide it on to the wire like this. And the same goes for if you're making a bracelet like the one that I'm wearing right now. So you can see that it has the crimps on it right there. But this is the same technique you would use if you were to use it for a bracelet or a necklace. So once you have your crimp bead on here, you're going to want to put on your jump ring or whatever you'd like to attach the wire to. In most cases it would be a jump ring. So make sure this one is closed all the way actually. Okay. So slide your crimp on, and then slide on your jump ring. And once you have it like this, you're going to want to make sure you have a little extra of the flex wire. So measure out a little more than you would need so you can have enough to put back in here. So you have your crimp, you have your ring, and you're going to go back into the crimp. So get it back in there, and then you're going to kind of want to slide the crimp up with your fingernail so you can see it's like that, and then you just want to tighten it up a bit more as you pull it up. You can also use your chain nose pliers if you need to. Give it a little tug. So once you have it like that, it'll stay in place, it's secure. And what you're going to want to do is take your magical crimper, and you'll see in the magical crimper there's a little round spot right there, the divot. You're going to want to make sure that the crimp is centered in it, because if not, it won't come out correctly. So make sure your jump ring's out of the way, you can hold it at an angle. And then just make sure that the crimp is sitting in there correctly, because if not, it won't come out right. So once you have it in there and you'll get a feel for it, you're just going to press it down firmly once. And you have somewhat of a ravioli shape. And once you have your ravioli or your pillow shape, you're going to take it at the angle so it's squishing it from the other side. And then you're just going to press it again. So it's a little misshapen right now, but what you do is you just put it back into the circle part of it, and you press it, and then you lightly let off and press it. So you're just going to twirl the wire around and press it so you're rounding out the crimp. And then after you're done, it should look like a little ball like that. And you can see it's very secure. And this way your crimps won't look smushed or flat or broken. You won't have to worry about any of that type of thing. It'll just look like a little metal bead. So once you have that on there, you're going to start stringing. And always make sure that the first bead you put on there is going to have a big enough hole to conceal the wire. You can also cut it down a bit. So just cut this excess wire down a bit here. And then you can start stringing. And depending on the beads, sometimes it's faster to pick them up with the wire itself like this, or you can put them on there individually. So just going to start stringing them on, and then you need to make sure that the excess wire goes up into the bead like this. Sometimes it's tricky, you need to make sure your hole is big enough. But this one will go on. Sometimes it's a little hard, you gotta maneuver it in there. You want to make sure it's covered so it's not poking out. Okay. And then you just want to measure and see how far along you've gone. I have about a 1/2 inch here, so I'm going to put on my first paper bead. And it's whatever type of pattern you'd like for the earring. So you can just continue. I'm putting 3 spacer beads in between each of my paper beads. And then if you want, you can do the entire thing with paper beads. You can do it with any type of bead, really. And I'm just using the spacers today. Okay, almost done. And keep in mind you can do the exact same technique when you're making a bracelet or a necklace, but obviously your bracelet would be about 7 inches, your necklace would be about 18, however long you want actually, but it's the same technique. Alright, so now that I'm at the end of it here, I'm going to put my crimp on. So like this, and then once your crimp is on, you're going to put the wire through the loop like this. And if you were to make a necklace or a bracelet, you'd put it through the other side. So now I have it like this, and put the wire back into the crimp, as well as through at least the first 1 or 2 beads, depending on the size of the beads. If you need to, you can get your pliers in there. Okay. Okay, so I have it through the first 2, and I'm going to pull it like this, so that way it tightens up. And you can see there's still some excess. What you do in that case is you kind of do a method of pushing and pulling it. So you're going to want to kind of push the crimp down, or you can kind of pull it down with your fingernails like this, and that's tighter. And then you're going to pull it some more. And then just a little bit more, you're going to pull it a little more down, and you can see it's secure. So that will make it so the loose ends are tightened up. So once you have that, you're going to use the crimper one more time. You want to make sure that it's in the center. in the divot, press it down once firmly, you have your pillow shape, and then you're going to press it against the pillow shape like this, and just turn it, twist it and turn it so that it rounds out into a little ball like that. So once you have it like this, you're going to cut it, the excess off like that, and you're going to attach your earring wire. Most earring wires open up like this. If not, you can open up your drum ring and put it on there. But you can see, just like this, close it up, and you have your finished earring using the magical crimper.